Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast started by Closers.io, where we explore the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and the road ahead for them and their companies. I'm your host, Milan Kohut, and in each episode, we uncover the stories behind impactful ventures, the challenges faced, the lessons learned, and the strategies fueling future growth. Today, I'm absolutely thrilled to be joined by Jocelyn Norton, a certified life coach and neurolinguistic programming practitioner. She guides clients through life coaching to uncover purpose and fulfillment using rapport-building techniques in a secure space to foster self-belief and capability. Her NLP expertise equips clients with tools to recognize unhelpful states, sidestep negative triggers, and shift into proactive mindsets for everyday challenges. With that being said, Jocelyn, let me officially welcome you to Founders Future.
Hi Milan, and thank you for having me today. It's an absolute pleasure to be chatting to you today, and thank you for sharing about my story.
It's lovely to have you on the podcast. I'm very much looking forward to the conversation. So if you're ready, we're going to jump into it. How are you feeling?
Sure. That's fine. It's roughly 30
Awesome.
minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. There is a lot that we want to cover in a short period of time, so we're not going to waste any time. What I love to do with all of my guests on the podcast is a bit of traveling back in time. So briefly, if you could walk us through what is it that you did before, and then what was the motivation for really starting the project?
Okay, so I am South African, and I was a professional surfer when I was really young. And then that led me into the world of studying sports science, where I became a personal trainer, sports conditioning trainer, and health coach. And from there, I fell in love with the health coaching industry, but I really wanted to dive deeper into the world of life coaching. And during that time when I was studying life coaching, I was also in a very narcissistic relationship. And it was that relationship that taught me a lot about myself, taught me a lot about my partner, and taught me a lot about our relationship, where I then got help myself through a coach that focused on narcissistic abuse and relationships, where I then had a passion for helping other women through narcissistic abuse. So then it felt natural. And it felt natural for me to lead down that path of helping other women through toxic relationships and narcissistic abuse as well.
Yeah, so you've really been through the trenches, and that's what really has inspired you to have your own practice for women like this. And this is what I always say. Like, I'm obviously on one end, I'm very sorry for whatever negative happens to you in your life, but at the same time, this is making you one hell of a coach, right? Just going through those situations yourself is just a different level of understanding that you can provide your clients with. So that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Jocelyn, let's talk about where this journey got you overall and what the business really looks like for you today. In this part of the podcast, what my goal is basically is get the listeners close to, first of all, who it is exactly that you're trying to help right now, but also what are the core offerings that you have in place for your clients. So tell us all about it.
Okay. So the ladies that I help are ladies between the ages of 40 and 55, so midlife women, and women that are currently going through a divorce or post-divorce, or any woman that's been in any form of a toxic relationship, and even in the workplace where they've experienced corporate narcissistic abuse and really want to heal from that abuse so that they can receive more from life and grow and become more of themselves. And the services that I provide are basically my one-on-one coaching, which is known as the Heal and Thrive Premium. And then I have the Heal and Thrive Core and the Heal and Thrive membership. So I teach frameworks, which is known as the Heal and Thrive method, and that they can receive in any of my 3 packages.
Beautiful. So this is basically the 3 main ways that your clients can work with you. Now, one thing that I really want to get some clarity on is that when it comes to your industry, there is a lot of professionals only sticking to the method of or the basis of one-on-ones, but there's also a lot of professionals really aiming towards the group coaching session just to have something a little bit more scalable where you can really impact a lot more lives at the same time, right? So
Yeah.
when it comes to those other 2 products, or offerings, is that on the basis of group coaching and really creating the community, or how does that work for you specifically?
Yes, it is on the basis of group coaching and creating a long-term community for me, whereas there will be some ladies that perhaps can't afford the one-on-one coaching right now, or perhaps just aren't ready for such in-depth healing right now. So they sit within the membership and they build my trust and they get to know me and they become familiar with me and what I coach, what I do and how it is that I can benefit them. So it's all about them gaining trust and confidence within themselves and the healing journey, which then at a later stage when they are feeling ready, they would move into the one-on-one.
Gotcha. So you just said that this is not only for those who can't really afford the one-on-ones, but also those who are not really committed enough to really go through the intensive part, which you do on the one-on-one basis. So my question now is, like, retrospectively looking back at all of the people that you work with, what would you say is the average duration or amount of time that it really takes for you to work with a client, dive deeper into everything, and basically set them up for success in the future?
Sure. So it takes roughly around 12 weeks, 3 months, because I take them on a journey. So the first month is all about how to heal. Then the second month is all about growth. And then the third month is about becoming more, it's learning their authentic self, building a deeper connected relationship with themselves, and developing a purpose in life and how their purpose can serve them. So it takes roughly 12 weeks, but
Mhm.
there's a massive change within them within 4 weeks, but it's really in depth and it's all about commitment. And I also give them homework for them to do as well during the week outside of our one-on-one sessions, and they have to do that homework. And it's a little bit hard for them in the beginning, but once they dive into it, there's a massive change in them very quickly.
I mean, change is always hard, isn't it? Just stepping out
Yeah.
of the comfort zone and really challenging yourself, that is hard indeed. So I love it. Now, what is the frequency of you really meeting with your clients? And is it all online or do you also work with clients in person or how does that work?
At the moment, I do it all online. As much as I would love to do it in person, I've been traveling at the moment, so I just love doing it all online.
Absolutely. I mean, this is the boom, at least in the past 2 to 3 years, when it comes to coaching and consulting industry. And it's also from the business perspective, it allows you to work with anybody in the world. So it is a
Yeah.
beautiful thing, though. Now, when it comes to what I would love to do is also talk about the backhand side of the business. You already know this, Jocelyn. This is a business podcast, so anything in regards to marketing, sales, operations, we want to talk about this stuff. So when it comes to really having a good client acquisition system in place and having the ability to onboard new clients and get them into our programs, what is it that you do on the front of marketing and really like lead generation to make all of this even happen in the first place?
Sure. So I have a business coach that has helped me learn the system, and he's been a real valuable asset in my life and in my business life as well, showing me the ropes because the online coaching world is always changing and you have to keep up to date with it. So I now work through a CRM system. I understand the way how funnels work, lead generation, the importance of lead generation, and also the importance of showing up online on a daily basis so that future potential clients can build their trust in me. And then from there, they then go from like my Instagram into my email system, and then from there, like they would go onto my Zoom where I meet with them one-on-one, and then I would sign up with them. Well, they would sign up with me, sorry.
Beautiful. So now when you think about the specific strategy that has really worked well for you, one of the things that you've mentioned is actively creating content, really staying engaged with your audience, giving them the chance to really see who you are and what you stand for, which is a beautiful thing. This is all on the organic. So I'm also wondering, have you ever dabbled into like the world of paid advertisement to possibly create something more predictable and scalable, or what is your perspective of that?
Yes, I have done paid advertising, and to me, it works really well. I think for a coach, it's very important that you organically know what you're doing, firstly. And once you have everything sorted out for you, you've got a 7 day like daily planner of like how are you going to plan your content, how are you going to plan your market research, how are you going to draw your leads into you. That's really important. And then from there, pay for advertising, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, both, getting it out there. It's really important. Get it all to work together. And same thing with the whole funnel system as well. You need both to work well. And as a coach, you need to be like on the board. You need to be very
Mhm.
familiar with the marketing side of things.
Yeah, Jocelyn, one point that you made I absolutely loved, which is the fact that you need to be okay with the organic first. You need to know how it works. You need to actively create content. You need to build this side of the business in order for the paid ads to really work in the first place, right? And also, I want to leverage on what we just started talking about. If there's anybody listening to this podcast right now who is maybe a part of your industry as well, maybe in a similar position, trying to build a business, take it to the next level. When you look at your strategy with paid ads, what is it that you do, or what is it that you can advise them on in terms of what really works in terms of getting leads into the pipeline?
To make sure that everything connects into each other and that you are constantly checking and following up on your funnels and who's coming through and responding to them, reaching out to them that way also organically and just being on top of your game all the time so that you can see what's going on. That's how I like to do it.
Beautiful, beautiful. Now, delegation is also becoming one of the biggest topics on the podcast. So let's talk about that for a second. Obviously, you've already made the first and maybe the most important hire slash investment, which would be the business coach. So good for you on that front. But also in terms of like taking care of all of these activities on the daily basis, whether that's content, whether that's following up with your prospects, closing the deals, there is a lot that goes into it. So I'm curious if you've already built your own internal teams, maybe for marketing, maybe sales, possibly other departments, or if that's a part of your future plans.
Yes, I would eventually like to have my own virtual assistant that will do everything for me instead of myself. But at the same time, it's also good to be on top of all of it so that no lead goes missing and that everyone gets the opportunity to make that choice within themselves about healing. Because you've always got to think of the client or the potential client and the healing that they could do with.
Absolutely. Now, I want to see what your philosophy on delegation really is, because based on several different dialogues that I had about delegation, there's a lot of business owners, entrepreneurs who are really struggling with this. Like what is the good timing to really give their money away, allow somebody to join the ecosystems that you've built. So when it comes to you specifically, what is the thought process on that? When is the good time to take the next step?
So when you say delegation, what do you mean delegation?
Delegation in terms of finding the ability within yourself to really delegate on all of those tasks, not really letting
Mhm.
yourself do all of those activities, but really bring somebody onto the board and let them take some of your responsibilities.
Yes. So eventually, I do want to get to that stage where I will be bringing somebody in, whether it's just for them to every day, 1 hour per day, just doing the market research on all of my followers. And when it comes to doing the market research, it's a specific psychological messaging system, and you just like reach out with a very warm regard to certain followers to get them to respond back to you and hear about their journey. And then at the same time, it's like you can take their journey and create content off it, and while you're doing that, you're basically creating content for them. So it's a
Mhm.
win-win situation both sides. But definitely, I would like in the future to have a virtual assistant that will definitely be doing that for me. And then it will take the pressure of that and the time because that um, is also a lot of time for me as well
Oh,
to sit
yes,
5 days a
it
week doing
is.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it takes a lot of time and effort, 100%, 100%. Now, Jocelyn, talking about the future though, especially if you think about the short-term goals, maybe really the next 6 to 12 months. What would you say really are the biggest goals, targets, revenue, milestones that you have set for yourself?
So, my personal gallstones, which is also my business gallstones, is to get my book out. I've also written a book. I'm currently getting it published, and that's also finding the right publisher. So, as much as I'm doing that, I want to get it published, and then I would bring that book and everything I receive from that book, like followers and so on, and incorporate it into my business as well. And from there, obviously become more of an impactful coach, not just where I am now. And obviously, I do have some financial goals that I want to reach as well, and take on more virtual assistants and other coaches that can work below me to help with perhaps the Heal and Thrive membership, take care of that.
Beautiful. Now, when you say become eventually like a more impactful coach, what do you mean by that?
So to be more of like a Tony Robbins or a Mel Robbins, that
Beautiful.
level of coaching where they've got 200,000 followers and up.
Absolutely. Yeah. Now, when it comes to really looking at those goals and ambition that you have, out of everything, what would you say is really going to be the biggest challenge to make it happen?
Persistence and obviously mind over matter. So just staying focused every single day and believing in myself. Having that worth is very important. Knowing that I've got this, I can do it. I am the coach for those ladies.
Yeah. Now I know that now I'm pretty much know what is going to be your answer to my next question. But before we wrap it up, I also wanted to ask you for an advice that we can pass on to the audience. Considering that you've been in business yourself for quite some time now, if you could travel back in time and maybe sit
Mhm.
down with your younger self, maybe at the very, very beginning of your journey as an entrepreneur, what would be the best piece of advice that you would give yourself?
To believe in myself and trust the process of my business journey, know I'm worth it, and know that there are many ladies out there that need the work that I have to offer them, and to just keep believing myself.
I love it. Beautiful. Believe in yourself and the process. 100% agreed. Now, Jocelyn, this has been a great conversation. So I want to say thank you for taking the time today, sharing this story with me and the entire audience. If anybody from the listeners wanted to reach out, get in touch, maybe even work with you, what is the best way to go about it?
They can go onto my Instagram page. I'm very active on my Instagram, which is at narchealing.confidence.coach, or they can just simply type in my name as Jocelyn Joan. That's the easiest way. I also have my own website, a YouTube channel, and podcast as well. My podcast is known as Attract Lovers, Not Narcissists.
Beautiful. Again, thank you, Jocelyn. I enjoyed the conversation. Now,
And thank you for having me, Milan.
it was a pleasure. Now, to our listeners, if today's conversation inspired you as well, make sure to subscribe to Founders Future on your favorite platform. And also, if you're a business owner, more specifically a consultant or a coach, or you have an agency, and you're trying to scale the business and really enhance both your sales and marketing efforts, also visit closers.io, get in touch with our team, and discover how exactly we scaled our company from zero to over 30 million per year in less than 3 years. Until then, keep on climbing, and I'll see you on the next one.